I have always wanted a giant scale Corsair, and here it is. Welcome everybody back to Just Plain Crazy. I'm Brendan. Thanks for joining me for another episode down in the lair. And from Seagull's models through Gator-Rc, I bring you the giant scale special limited edition Corsair. This is a 60cc Corsair, 87-inch wingspan with retracts, functioning scale canopy, cockpit. It's going to be amazing. So they got tank drops and all kinds of stuff on this thing. We'll go through it all. We'll do the unboxing. But with that being said, they recommend that this thing get powered with a 70cc twin or the Sato 3-cylinder 90. I think I'm going to go the Sato route. I've been debating for a while. Enough chit chat. We got 2 boxes. We got to get through this stuff. Let's do it. So first things first, pick a box. Pick a box. This one? Okay, we'll put this one off on the floor. So we are going to take pictures as we go. Hopefully you guys are positioned to see down into the box okay. So box number 1 looks like it's going to be the fuselage. Receipt. There's that. We got a gift. And it says, thank you for celebrating with us, Seagull Models. And it looks like we got ourselves a hat. 25th year anniversary F4U Corsair hat. That's pretty nice. Nice touch. All right. So let's just do it right out of the gate. Got some extra foamy stuff, and we have ourselves the fuselage. All right. So, initial thoughts right out of the gate. Pretty large sized Corsair. As far as the length of the fuselage against the Zero, that's Seagull's. Let's see. So it's almost identical. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty much all the same wingspan. I think there is a 1-inch difference, but we can see we have spots for the sliding canopy. They already have the rails in there. They got this little foamy doodad up at the top, so that way it don't poke holes. Thoughts on the 3-tone covering right out of the gate. I see it looks like a little push mark right there in the covering. Kind of disappointing. We can weather that out. I was thinking that I was going to, now this is genuine Aura cover, so a little bit of scuff mark on the covering. It's almost like a fabric feeling. It's not the shiny covering, which is nice. We have holes for antennas. We have holes for lights in here. If the lights aren't good enough quality, we're going with uni lights. I want it to stand out, and I think I'm going to do some scale functioning lighting to it. So, yeah, we got a little mark in the covering there, which is kind of disappointing. We'll weather that out. But otherwise, it has a nice feel. The covering is well done. The Corsair obviously has tons of curves to it, so the fact that this covering doesn't look horrendous is really nice. I like the covering on the Zero. It is phenomenal. Obviously, this is a perfect platform to weather, to make panel lines, rivets, all that type of stuff. So I just might take the time. I've actually had a lot of monetary offers for my Zero where people have said, just name the price and I'll buy it off you. So I think that says a lot, and I think it'd bring a lot to this model. So what do we see here with the hatch? Let's get the hatch open. So pins in the front of the hatch. You have a pretty big bay here for fuel tank. There's all kinds of servo holes and stuff in there, so you guys can see that. We're there. I don't know what all the different servos are for, so maybe just generalized locations if you want to do stuff, engines and setups and whatever. But looks like it's really well put together, and it almost looks like everything's epoxied together. The glue is different than that white chinking that they use. So there's another access panel or patch on the inside. So you could take some bolts out there. It looks like long push rods for the tails. Servos more mounted up front. Let's take a look at the rudder. Oh, so the rudder's already hinged for you guys. That's already done. I thought that would fall off. It does not have the horn in it, and the tail is going to be recessed on this. Tail wheel pocket in the back for the retracts is huge. So let's get some pictures. Canopy. That'll go right there. Panel or something for the bottom. Pieces, cockpit pieces, plastics. Fuel tank access. Looks like the seat and instrument panel. Carbon tubes. Lights and controller, standard issue, not super bright. There's something to be said for uni lights and their controller, so I don't know. We'll find something else to do with those. So this is one of the nice touches for me for this plane. We already have a fairly scale functioning cockpit pieces that doesn't look like I have to paint. If you want to do something with gauges and stuff, tail wheel doors. Oh, look at that, rails. They already make the rails for you for the sliding canopy. That's cool. More plastic tidbits. Gun ports. This would be one of those planes where you can go to Mr. RC Sound and you can actually get the little blinky lights and put the sound module in there for guns and stuff like that. So if you want, I did some sound module stuff with Gator-Rc and Mr. RC Sound a while ago. So if you want, you can go dig it in the video archives for that stuff. But ultimately, I did it on a Texan T6A, Texan 2 T6A. So that one was electric. So we got a seat, which is cool. And then we got some lenses for the wings. Push rods. Heavy push rods, ball links and stuff in there for the plane. Got some weight to it. Let's see what we got in these little boxes. Oh, super cool. Check this out. Aluminum spinner hub. Nice touch. You don't have to go and hunt one and go buy it. That's cool. 2-3 blade or not 2-3 blade? That is the question. Comment down below. What engine would you put in? What blade prop would you use? 2 or 3? Retract gear. So I keep an eye on Facebook and things like that, and a lot of people love JP gear, so we have some nice JP solid gear for this. Use the same stuff right through Seagull's models for my Zero. I got 100 flights on that thing. It holds up really well. So really nice stout landing gear. Look at this elaborate tail wheel assembly. Look at that. How wild. So I don't know how we're gonna hook this up for steering, but I guess we'll find out. And it's very light, doesn't weigh much. Okay. So there's landing gear. What else we got? What else we got in these box? Tires. Aluminum hubs, bearings. Check that out. Those look nice. They're beefy too. They got some weight to them. Those are really cool. Like that. Be a nice touch on that gear for sure. All right, question number 2 for you guys. If this was your model, would you put these drop tanks on and missiles? The kit comes with missiles and drop tanks that are releasable. So here's the thing, like my Zero, I have a bomb that I got from Hobby King, and I drop that thing all the time, and I drop it with some authority from pretty high up. Mr. Bross knows it was really high up, and it landed right in front of him. I almost got him. I missed just by a little bit. No, I wasn't aiming at him intentionally, but I break them constantly. I tape them back together. That's what I use. And they're made out of plastic. These things are, you know, fiberglass. So I don't know how that would work, dropping these onto the runway from up high. Like, they would last one time and be destroyed. So even if you 3D print something, like, I like the theory, but to me it's wasted weight. I don't know. I like the look of a Corsair without the missiles and without the drop tanks. So comment down in the section, comment down below in the comment section. Would you use drop tanks? Would you drop them? Would you put the missiles on, or just leave off the unneeded weight? I like lighter wing loading, so that being said, drop tanks. All right, guys. So that's a wrap on box number 1. Let's get this thing off the bench. All right, let's take you the once over of the first box. So some of this stuff I'll leave in the packages, so just so I don't lose it. I took out some of it so you could see what's going on there. It'd be nice to put bubbles in there. I've done that before. Guys use clear epoxy too. And then the fuse. Rudder. Tail section. Plenty of easily accessible space for electronics, fuel tanks, servos, whatever, all the way through there. A nice latch assembly. And then if you go around the front, a nice composite plate on the front of the firewall. All right, let's get this off. Box number 2. Box number 2. Can't forget pictures. Big instruction book. So there is probably lots of intricate things here when it comes to getting this engine in. And it's just nice, just thumbing through it. It's actually really cool. They actually show you with the Sato mounted up in there. So that's a plus. It's a win. Decals. Wing halves. Gray, blue, crying for panel lines and rivet work again, guys. I know it takes forever, but I think we're gonna have to fish up some drawings. Hinges are nice, they're already done. Flap hinges are done. That's done. Servo linkage for the flaps will be internal. You could see that there. And then for the ailerons will be external. But covering is not a shiny covering with the Aura cover. Almost feels like a painted fabric. I like it. I think the Zero turned out great with this stuff. So wing set, lights, uni lights. Nice tray separation to protect stuff. This stuff comes a long way and never gets damaged. I'm surprised. Well, so if you're watching, maybe you care, maybe you don't. Why have I always wanted a Corsair, and how long has that been? So I'm 47 or so now. My grandfather got me into this hobby, and ever since I went with him to the Ram show in New York when I was little, I used to look at the big fiberglass Corsairs and stuff, and I'm always like, oh, I want one of them one day. And then as I came up through the hobby, everyone's like, oh, you don't want a Corsair, they're so hard to fly, they wing over and stall and crash, and if you know how to fly a tail dragger, you'll be fine, but you got to fly the tail. The secret is the throttle management, flying the tail. So stabs already hinged. God, that looks so good and clean. And so much better than just fiberglass hinges. That is so nice. That is just, like you just don't realize how nice that is. And the covering is good. Like the covering, again, I'm not a covering expert, but I couldn't do a good job. And on a special edition run, this plane is 36, it's numbered 36. So it's not like they had a million to practice on. 36 is still a good number, but you know, a couple small pieces of covering I got to hit with the heating iron, but man, guys, that stuff looks good. Hardened dowels, so they'll have spars, fiberglass sleeves, and then we have hardwood dowels that'll sit in the tail. And here it is. Here's the Mama Jamma center section. Gotta get pictures of this stuff, I guess, right? Crying for panel lines. So yeah, so I finally got my big Corsair, and guys, she is big. First Corsair I ever had was a Kyosho Corsair, fiberglass fused build-up stabs, had a Sato, or actually no, it was an OS Surpass 290 in that glow engine. Sold that at a flea market. It was a good plane, I loved it. It's glow, and just didn't take it to the field anymore. So obviously you get into flying gas stuff, you like gas stuff. More flaps, and internal servos for those flaps. Big gear door pockets for big gear, big boy gear, pretty light. So yeah, so you know, I know what everyone's asking. What about that center spar? I don't know. Let's see if we can see it. because what makes or breaks the Corsair in the modeling industry is how well you can build that center section. So let me see if I can see in here. This is just so elaborately cut out with all the framework and stuff. Do me a favor, take a look. I'll zoom you guys in over this stuff at the end, but make sure you hop on our Facebook Just Plain Crazy page and look at some of the pictures in there. And what a good job they actually do of all this laser cut stuff fitting together nicely and, you know, glued together. So, man, I don't know. There's some beefy plywood in here, and then these spars here, they go in to about there, but everything in that center support is held together with some really thick plywood pieces, all interlocked. Like this is probably quarter, almost half inch. It's got to be close to half inch, like thickness here and in the back. So I think we got ourselves like a really well built center section here for sure. Very nice. And you know, all the compound curves of this thing with the covering, you know, you could see where they scabbed in some pieces, but guys, I couldn't do any better. So like, I ain't complaining. Stuffing. Dummy radial engine. If we're going with a Sato, you know where that goes. So right in the trash. We got ourselves a Cowling. Already has blind nuts in it. This is the stuff that you just don't know if you don't know. And like the way that this is all built, blind nuts for screws and stuff in there, like they went about, you could have just left that to put a hole in a regular wood screw through there. They put a little time into this. It looks good. So the cowling I seen noted is oversized for fitting the Sato. So they slightly enlarged the cowl to fit it. If you're looking to see how big that is, fits over my head. Nice cowl. Nice color. It's not a shiny, everything is a matte finish. Matte finish cowl. How cool would that be to make the functioning flaps in the back if you wanted to? There's a lot of tutorials out there. Guys have done it on YouTube. So if you really want to go all out, I don't think I will. Not as long as that engine has enough room to breathe in there. I'm not doing it. Missiles. They're heavy. So again, comment down below. Would you... These are made out of PCB. They're made out of plastic. Comment down below, would you put these on? Would you do drop tanks and would you do missiles? I mean, size-wise, they're pretty big. If you want to do electric, I can't tell you how many of these I got laying around. It's in the box. Oh. ZY hobby fuel tank or whatever these are, standard issue fuel tanks anymore. They work well. The tops tend to seep a little bit, but I use ceramic clunks in there. My buddy Ronnie showed me ceramic clunks a long time ago and I've never looked back. I've never had an engine issue either. Aluminum, I almost dropped it. Aluminum landing gear plates, heavy. And then you have these for putting the E-Flight releases in for the drop tanks. Again, I almost wish they would have made the drop tanks out of rubber or something. So, there's that. What else we got? This is it, guys. Another heavy box. This is heavy. Gear doors. more gear doors. And then this looks like all of the missile standoffs, engine standoffs, missile tips, hardware stuff, like just a bag of miscellaneous stuff. You could see the joystick in here, all the scale details. But this bag probably weighs 2 pounds. So, you know, when you really talk about the weight of an aircraft, like deciding if you're going to put all the extra stuff on there, this is right here. This is the bag of extra weight and stuff. So, guys, that's a wrap. Let's get it laid out on the bench. We'll get a picture. We'll take you on the once over, and we're out of here. And again, we took the EMHW pits off the bench again to do this. Finally got that bad boy on the gear. It's framed up. We're getting close at this point. Some of the servos are mounted in there. I'm finishing up one of the landing gear. I want to call it skirts. The name slips my mind at this point. But the covering down the leg of the gear, we have to do that. And then it's time to mount that engine in there. And Volek 170 4-stroke twin is what's going in that. So that thing is just turning out amazing. It's a slow process building from a box of wood. So it really gives you a fine appreciation when you can ARF something like this. But this one won't fly this year. This one I could tell you is definitely going to get some uni lights. We're going to panel it. We're going to weather it. We're going to make this thing look like it's just plain crazy. All right, once over. Again, genuine Aura cover, not shiny, feels like fabric, would be easy to pencil line in and weather. I like the bottom color differentiation, top and bottom. Again, these things were made and designed to hide in the clouds. So thus the color choices, the cowling, just everything. I'll be honest, I've done a lot of Seagulls models planes. Guys, this is the best quality one yet. Yeah, by far it's the best quality one that I've seen yet. So we want to do lighting to it. We want to do weathering to it. We're going to do the Sato in it. We're going to make it right. And we're going to make it nice. And sliding canopy, pilot, the interior, all of those fine touches. So there you go. So guys, there you have it. From Seagulls Models and Gator-Rc, the giant scale 87-inch 60cc Corsair. What a beauty. Can't wait. I can't wait to take this and the Zero to the field at the same time. I almost wish I could find a way to fly both. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. As far as getting stuff done on the channel, man, life is life. It takes a long time to do this stuff. It really does. And when you work a full-time job and take care of stuff at the house, it's hard to make the videos. So I hope you guys really do appreciate them. We try to put stuff together. The pits is a little bit each night, man. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So I'm still working on that pits, man. I want to have that thing done and ready for next year. I bought myself an inflatable paint booth off Amazon. The coolest thing ever. If you haven't seen those, go check those out. That's where we're going to be painting the pits once it's covered, stits. But anyway, it's coming along. I love it. Videos are just slow to get there. Sorry. This will be a work in progress as well. So I don't know which one I want to work on more. But this will be ready for flying in the spring. The pits will be ready for flying in the spring. I guarantee that. With that being said, I'm Brendan. This is Just Plain Crazy. You're just plain crazy for always hanging out and watching. And I thank every one of you for always stopping in and checking out my stuff. Don't forget to hit us up on the official Facebook and Instagram Just Plain Crazy pages. Like, share, subscribe, all that cool shameless plug stuff. If you didn't like the video and you're going to hit that thumbs down, smash that button twice for me, will you? With that being said, I wish you guys happy flights. Peace out.